Welcome back to Doubling Down on a very exciting week in horse racing. You want the drama, you want the pageantry, you want the stars, you get it all. You get the Irad Ortiz being out for 2 weeks up at Saratoga, I think is a story. You get
Yep.
Sovereignty coming back third time off the bench this year and putting up a monster performance where we were right about magnitude, at least I was, and I decided to go with Baeza and Sovereignty, a horse that we've loved on this show for so long, made us look silly. And then you have this crazy betting story going on that was happening Sunday at Saratoga and Monmouth, and you got maybe mob connections and drugs and money, and what more could you ask for in this sport, Vinny?
Right, right. It's been absolutely crazy last few days here in racing, and it seems to just get crazier. But that's part of the reason we love the game, right?
I guess. I
just
guess. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't play
just
Sunday. I was thinking,
I didn't either. I didn't play Sunday either. I looked at some of the prices that came home, and I was like, oh, all right. Well, good thing I didn't play because I wouldn't have had the one horse that paid like $96. I can tell you that. And then all of a sudden I start reading online and people are just like, "Oh, these are Fairhill horses." Like both of these horses worked worked super slow at Fairhill in their last work and then just ran off the screen and then it was like, "Uh-oh." And yeah, just today the previous owner, like Angel whatever his name is, got popped for a failed test
oh, the
for
trainer.
last month. Yeah, the former trainer owner of the Fairhill horses got in trouble today for a failed drug test for one of his horses last month. So it's like it's all the pieces are all coming together in that story. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild if you follow it. They had two trainers that haven't had many horses running. There's some connections amongst the horses, amongst the trainers, I should say. Entered horses at Saratoga and Monmouth that had not been running in a while. Really, on paper, one of them maybe you can make a case for. One of them I struggled to, as I looked back, to see it. They came home. The crazy thing was that the double payouts were absolutely hammered for the two races that were back to back. That they nailed. The overseas books was taking a ton of money on these horses. And then the
Yeah.
crazier thing that I texted to you on Monday and my friend, I said, "Hey, look, they have two entries tonight. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I bet they scratch." And as the story picked up steam, sure enough, what both horses ended up scratching. One because of the track, if I remember correctly, where there was jurisdiction, and then that news got to Mountaineer, and it's all just it's wild. It's
Yeah,
very,
the
very
the
wild.
scratching, the one scratched a couple hours before post, and it was like, all right, like we can make a case for that one. Like maybe it's circumstantial, like they didn't like the track, stuff like that. The other one literally scratched with like six
Six.
minutes before post, and it's like all right, we have steam here. Like it's just yeah, that's been a crazy story and like unfortunately, like it's really taken away from like how great of a weekend it was at Saratoga with the racing. Like you said, we had Sovereignty come back and put up a huge effort. We had the Terministic look phenomenal again at Saratoga. We had some really good races with some really cool horses that really got overshadowed on Sunday by this story, and it's kind of been the whole story all week. Nobody's really talking about anything else. Yes, Irad is out for until next weekend. It seems more precautionary. It seems like he just like mildly sprained his ankle based on how long he's out for. But yeah, just kind of unfortunate. It does bring drama into it, but it
We
is
love the drama.
yeah, we love the drama. This type of drama, not so much. It's never great when as betters it's open that we are just getting absolutely shafted uh in the wagering like that. So yeah, that's not great. And of course, like nothing will happen for the betters. The horses will probably eventually be DQ'd for the win, and the connection to the horses that ran second will get the purse money and all that. But as the betters, you don't get refunds on those on those bets months later, so it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate. What also was unfortunate was how bad my Whitney picks were here on the channel in the video we did going head to head. And you'd mentioned deterministic. It was a lot of scenarios where I love deterministic. I'm one of his biggest fans, but I took Laganos, figuring the value and the pace of the race would set up for him. And it just seemed like all the picks I made were just the opposite of if I was down to two, the one I picked was not the one to be on. So apologies to all those who tailed any of those picks. Those were terrible. Friday I had some fun up there with you. Had some nice scores Friday, but Saturday we gave it back. We will try to make amends here this week on Doubling Down. This is where we talk about Daily Double, and we have the contest that you can play along with us. Before we do that, Vinny, my son has gotten into fishing over the last 3 weeks. And check this puppy out that we caught up in New Hampshire. The bass was about half the size of his body. It was a nice
That's
nice
crazy.
catch. Nice catch.
Yeah,
I'm not a
that's
fisherman. He's gotten me into it through just it's something to do with his grandfather who doesn't fish either. It's kind of our son has brought us into this. And I'm making this appeal for all you fishermen out there because right now, over at jiggylures.com/doubling down fans will get 20% off their order. I placed an order. I actually got this little minnow here on the left, and we're gonna use
nice.
it next week when I'm on vacation. So came really quickly, really easy to check out and get my lures to help have my son catch that big bass. So right now for Doubling Down fans, 20% off over at jiggylures.com. Be sure to check that out. We have a contest going here, doublingdownshow.com, where the standings got shooken up. That was a nice little daily double that came out last week with Sovereignty. I did not have the
Yep.
6 in the previous race. You did, but then you didn't have
I
Sovereignty.
didn't use. I should have. I should have. That was one of those things where like we talked about it on the show too. Like how much money, who was going to take more money? And Sovereignty took a ton of money. He looked live, and it was like, yeah, I'm going to stick with the value. And on all my tickets, I used both of them. So like my tickets, it was great, but in this contest, I did not go 5 by 2. So it definitely cost me here, but it happens.
Tommy Girl and J Worm, loyal watcher J Worm, are at the top. We have 2 weeks to go. Top two will win $25 credit to horsetourneys.com. Horsetourneys.com is the place to go. You can do $12 tournaments and play an entire card, win place. Hopefully, you have better results than I did last week. I'd love to see you out there. Vinny, we're going to head north of the border for the first time in a long time and go up to Woodbine because it is their 3-year-old marquee event, which is the King's Plate. Keep
Yep.
hearing people say Queen's Plate still. I've gotten it out of my system. It is now the King's Plate, but we start off the daily double with race 9. Catch a glimpse stakes for 2-year-old fillies, 6.5 furlongs on the turf field of 10. How'd you do with the lightly raced fillies?
Well, I didn't look at the morning line until right before the show, and I landed on the first and second choice on the morning line, which is kind of upsetting. The first horse I liked actually is the second choice on the morning line. The 3 here for Kevin Attard with Johnny V. Johnny V's coming up, and like it's kind of a big deal, you know. When Johnny V's shipping in to ride your horses on a big day, especially at a track that he rarely rides at, it's a pretty good thing, in my opinion. So I definitely think I definitely think this filly is very good. She got bet on her debut and she won. She won like she was supposed to. Now she gets Hall of Famer Johnny V aboard. I think this filly fits perfectly. They're lightly raced though, and I kind of wanted to get out of this leg to get to the Queen. Well, King's Plate.
Oh,
Uh,
you did it.
so
Dollar.
yep, I did it. I did it. So yeah, I wanted to get out of this leg, so I went too deep. I could argue if this one improves, she probably could be the best here. I just really like the Johnny V shipping in to ride angle.
This is her last race where she earned an 84 Equibase speed figure with KK aboard, getting on the front end early, going 5.5 furlongs. I also used the 3 Maloney on my ticket. I liked uh, the the Johnny V obviously garners your attention. Um, and I liked that this horse appears to be on the front end. Give me that early speed. And the speed figure there stands up.
Yeah.
So second time out with some improvement is certainly going to be in the mix. I
Yep.
went with the 1, you went with the 5 for your second horse.
Yeah, I ended up going with the 5 George Weaver horse that broke the maiden down at Aqueduct, then shipped up here to Woodbine for the last start and improved numbers wise improved. It was a listed stakes race, but did improve for George Weaver. Weaver keeps her up here. I think that's a great sign. Doesn't ship anybody in the ride. I want to say the jockey honor. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce it. I don't watch Woodbine that much. Um, is a
Savachi.
local jockey. Yeah, I'm going to guess he's a normal Woodbine jockey.
Yep.
Just looking at it, but Weaver's still sending horses up here. The horse has a win over the track, which is a good sign. And yeah, like I mean, like I said, this one started on the New York circuit, and we know how good Weaver does with these sprinters on the New York circuit. So interesting to see if it can translate up here. So I'm taking a shot with the Weaver horse, who looks like she's going to be the favorite based on the morning line. Kind of hoping there's no scratches here, and it's the board is kind of even. You know, if your favorite's 5-2, I'm fine with taking a favorite at 5-2. But a scratch or two what could really hurt that.
Here's how
Oh wow.
Racelands sees it with the number 3 as the 47% chance winner. Now, these fillies have been lightly
Jeez.
raced, so take that with a
Yeah.
grain of salt as far as what the data is seeing on Racelands. Vinny, I decided to use the fact that it's 2-year olds. It's a 6.5 furlong race, which to me, seven's the awkward one for sure. 6.5 is second most awkward distance. And I went through the field. Didn't feel like there was a lot that could separate you from a lot of them. I mean, the speed figure we talked about on the 3 stood out. The speed figure on the 9, Miss D at 10-1, earning an 85 first time out was impressive, but that was going 5 furlongs, including 2 races where the horse had a little bit of trouble. On the 1, Liberty Beach, last time out, this race was run at 6 furlongs. And within half a furlong of a distance is kind of what I like to see. And so this horse goes out to the front and wires this field at 6 furlongs. I'm hoping that maybe just having that extra half furlong over the rest of the entire field, who hasn't raced 6 furlongs yet. It's a $425,000 Omaha Beach horse out of a Broken Vow mare.
Yep.
That was the kind of deciding factor for me. And you could see on the comment there that the horse had more when asked. I don't think the 6.5 is going to be a problem for Liberty Beach. I like that he's down on the she's down on the inside. I think that's also going to allow her to have a very similar trip to what you see happen right here back on July 18th. So number 1, Liberty Beach is actually my top pick. I used the 3 as my second pick. Um, I think this filly looks to be okay at 6.5.
Yeah, time doesn't seem too bad. It'll be interesting. I mean, if I feel like this, if one of these fillies gets out like that and nobody presses, I definitely can see somebody going gate to wire. I feel like there is a little more speed in here, but again, it's Mark Cassie just great up here at Woodbine. So not gonna not gonna knock you for using the Cassie horse. I'm using a Cassie horse in the next leg. So
It's always he is very attractive, especially second and third time. He gets those horses to return back and run very nicely. Here is what our
yep.
ticket looks like. I'm going to go 1-3 with the 7-9-12. Vinny's going to go 3-5 with the 1-12. We're going to take a quick time out, but when we come back, we are going to give you our opinions on the King's Plate. If you're watching on Nessa Nation, we'll be right back after this break. If you're watching on YouTube, let's dive in. Okay, Vinny, it is the King's Plate, not the Queen's Plate. They're going a mile and a quarter, class rating of 98, purse of $1 million, horses 3-year-old, foaled in Canada, a field of 12 with 2 fillies in the field, including your even morning line favorite, the one Luster, and Dixie Law, who is the number 5, who actually beat Luster 3 back, but Luster's gotten the best of Dixie Law last 2 times out. So it's 2 fillies, Dixie Law at 10-1, and the one Luster at even money. Um, that's intriguing to me in and of itself. I think that the fillies are crowd favorites, and attractive that you mentioned Johnny V coming up. I think that this is
Yeah.
interesting for him to return on this horse, who he rode on Woodbine Oaks Day, and also second time out at Keeneland over the turf. But
Yep.
even money in this race here for me, I decided to not use Luster. Am I in trouble?
I don't know. I mean, this is the thing with the Canadian 3-year-olds is that like it's not uncommon that a filly runs huge in this race or wins this race
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
arguably, if your 3-year-old is good and you're in Canada and your 3-year-old is that good, most of the time you are trying the the dirt circuit in the U.S. So it's not uncommon that this happens. Um, I think I honestly I'm regretting using a second horse here. I might just I could just see
Want to
myself
change it?
singling
Want to
Luster.
change it?
No, I'm
No
gonna keep it.
change.
I'm Nope, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. I kept it last week and it bit me. If it bites me again, maybe next time I'll change it. They brought this like one at Keeneland on or one Woodbine on debut, then shipped to Keeneland. And you get top horses for that Keeneland meet. Won easily. Yes, came back to lose to Dixie Law. That was at 7 furlongs. Ever since she stretched out, she's just looked better. So no, I'm okay that she didn't beat Dixie Law here. It was a 7 furlong race, and it seems like she wants longer.
This one she did.
But
This was last time out, and
yeah,
she's
this is right, and this was
wrapped
this
up.
was longer. Yeah. The race that she lost to Dixie Law was a 7 furlong race.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah, so she just looks good stretching out, and quite frankly, I think it's gonna, like this race does produce prices every now and again, but I think it's gonna take a good effort for them to beat her, or like she's just gonna have to find trouble. And the fact that Johnny has come up here to ride her before, in my opinion, is huge. Like again, this is the horse he's coming up here to ride. So if you're going with the Johnny V angle, like this is this is why he's making the trip. He's not making the trip for the horse in the previous leg. So yeah, she looks ultra tough. Again, I didn't single her, but I can see her being even money. Like I think you'll if she goes off lower, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, and she's down on the inside speed. The two to me, I
Mhm.
wonder is going to go. Like I feel like the way that the two wins the race, the two victories for the two in the past have been the horse getting on the front end.
Yep.
Um, Back in October and November. That's kind of how I see Fire and Wine finding a
Yeah,
way
she
to the finish line. So, but other than that, it's not like there's a ton of inside speed that's gonna cause problems for
go with her.
Luster.
Yeah, and like yeah, I think Fire and Wine's got to find that form she had last year. I mean, her 3 races this year have been very bad. Quite frankly, they've been bad. The one, like they're not even numbers wise, they're not really where she was last year. So hopefully
And
she regains her form. But yeah, like you said, there's not a lot of speed in here. So like even if she doesn't break on top and she breaks second and she just sits that pocket trip, she's gonna be tough. The other speed in here, I think, is the other main speed in here, in my opinion, is the 10. I think the 10 is the other horse that really wants to go. He hasn't been on the lead, but I think the 10 is the one that wants to that is going to go.
I'm intrigued by Magical Factor. I like this race is going in a mile and a quarter. I kind of use the distance as my barometer for both of these races. Uh, Magical Factor was one that I picked up on, who I feel could be an interesting closer in here who could get the distance. This is a horse that if you use Race Lens, I'll show the folks real quick. You can go to GPS here on Race Lens, and it will pull up a lot of information that you don't get on your typical past performances. That includes average strides, average miles per hour on previous races, even if they've gone further distance, so you can kind of get a sense of how bad maybe a trip really was to back. You see 19 feet more traveled than the winner. But what I did notice, and I know this race was at a mile and a 16th, but back here at Keeneland, I love to see horses who are fast early. Yes, they dip off a little bit at the 3/4 mark, but going from 36 back up to 38, two back goes 36, 36, 36, steps up speed in the stretch up to 37. Um, when you see not a huge drop off and actually a horse that can re accelerate at later stages in the race, including the speed figures that to me are absolutely in the mix. I mean, 100 here
Yep.
circled in blue is actually your highest out of all the horses in the race. So you get a 95, a 100, and a 95, second place in the grade 3 last time out. But I decided today to maybe try to use a little bit of that GPS data to guide me in finding a horse that's going to be interested in getting the distance, and we'll see how that angle plays out for me. The works of recent have been good. This is another horse who I figure is going to be
Yeah, near the
early
front end.
early
Yep.
positions. And let's say Luster doesn't want the extra distance in this race and is actually tiring a little bit, which quite honestly showed a little bit up in comparing the GPS data with Luster. Might be the horse that the number 7 can run at. So the number 7 for me is my on top pick, Magical Factor in the King's Plate. I also decided to use the horse that Magical Factor lost to last time out, Braccetto, and some consistent equibase speed figures that are improving with added distance as well. We'll see the mile and the quarter. See if the Vacoma can get it.
Yeah, the pedigree there was the coma out of an include dam. I'm like that. The mile and a
I
the,
knew
the
you were
mile
gonna
and a
pass on that
16th
one.
is yeah, the mile and a 16th was like I'm like, all right, like got it once. Let's see if it does it again. But you said the numbers are there.
2 minutes left. I agreed with you on the 12 military time. Why don't you tell us what you liked about this horse?
It gets the outside trip, it has the pedigree to go farther, and should just based on the pedigree with Gunrunner as the sire, this horse should just keep improving. It's the fourth race of the year. Won the first one, second in the second one, third in the third one, but it's been right there on all three. You're going to get a price though. You look at the odds that this horse has gone off at consistently in her career. She's been off four times as the favorite, and the other two times was sub 3-1. And morning line, this horse is 12-1. You'll probably get around 8-1 if this horse is bet a little bit. But still, you're gonna get like over double the price of what this horse ever has been. And she's getting bet based on like the public thinks she's talented and she's running very well. So it's not like she's thrown up a bad race, really. I guess you can say her second career start wasn't great. Um, but besides that, like what, 5 for 6 in the money? It's pretty, it's pretty good. And we're gonna get a price. So
Yeah, yeah, I like the price. I like the Sire Gunrunner. Again, it was kind of for me looking at where is the stamina going to come in for the mile and the quarter distance. You can run into race ends, Show all. Sorry, I did that wrong. I'm going to show you how quickly we'll click on gun runner. We will modify this because the mile and the quarter is a unique enough distance that you can make it specific to today's exact distance and surface. We'll apply it. It'll quickly run for us the percentages for gun runner at a mile and a quarter for his pedigree, but then you can click show all and quickly sort all the sires in the race to see who has the most success with their pedigree at a mile and a quarter. Is actually the sixth, the Australian. Look at Vacoma. It's a small sample. It's only 2 horses, but 1 for 2. And the number 7 is 1 for 6. And then you get Gunrunner with a nice, healthy sample of 36 starters and 6 victories.
Yep.
So there you have it. They're small samples. You can even open it up
Very.
and look at who won for Vacoma, and it was Forged Steel on May 25th for Safi Joseph. I knew you'd get a little kick out of that. I knew that
Yeah,
was coming, so I
yeah.
saved that nugget for you.
That's too funny.
So that'll do it for us. Head on into doublingdownshow.com to get your picks in. The first and second is within striking distance. I think there's going to a lot of people, Vinny, that will have to toss the luster. And if they can get through, we can really get a shakeup in the standings. So get in there, play along. Till next time, I'm Colin. He's Vinny. Good luck, everybody.